Obunu gini kama chozunu Imana chukwa kosi womo Onyele miu Nyelu yumi What am I looking for? See my God, he don't bless me, yo. He give you me, give me you. Obunu kife la chasha so Obunu kife me chasha me My baby, you know, say you go love for me. Hey, yeah. I do go. I could go. When I call your name, Shakara for me. Oh, Roma. I will be your Romeo. You go be my Julie. Roma, I will be your Romeo. You will be my Julia. Oh, give me your love and I'll go run away. Show me your love and I'll go use you play. Carry me, go me, I go follow you way. Follow you, they go. Maka munagi me and you. Okwa munagi, my baby and me and you. Me and you, Aqua Monagi, my baby. Obuzi kife la chasha so, Obuni kife la chasha me. My baby, you know, say you go love me. I do go. I could go. When I call your name, Shakara for me. Oh, Roma, I will be your Romeo. You go be my Julie. Yeah, Roma, I will be your Romeo. You will be my Julia. Oh, Roma, I will be your Romeo. You will be my Juliet. Roma, I will be your Romeo. You will be my Juliet. Obuzi kife la chasha so, Obuzi kife mi chasha me. My baby, you know, say you go love me. I do go. I could go. When I call you, Shakara for me. Roma, I will be your Romeo. You will be my Julia. I will be your Romeo. You will be my Julia. Oh, yeah.
When you go to major parts, they live as if they are in the jungle. Lagos is Lagos. It is not jungle. You either obey our law or go to your own jungle.
How is it that Nigeria is struggling with the issues it's struggling with, but some of the smartest people in the world are Nigerians? Yeah. I think most people have mischaracterized the true cost of corruption. I don't think the most expensive line item in the cost of corruption, right, is what it's done to the economy. I think it's what it's done to sentiment and what it does to talent. In other words, when you corrupt a system, those less deserving get opportunities to which they are not deserving.
Entitled.
The problem is that those who are deserving pick up a little green document called a passport. They get on a plane
and go elsewhere.
And they leave. Because what talent does, when you distort this thing about effort versus reward, is talent goes where it will be rewarded. If you looked at the top 100 investment bankers in Wall Street today, you'd find a healthy percentage of them are Nigerians. The top brain surgeons in the world today, healthy percentage of them, Nigerians. The top investment banking lawyers in the world today, healthy percentage of them, Nigerians.
Sure.
What does that tell you? How is it that Nigeria is struggling with the issues it's struggling with. But some of the smartest people in the world are Nigerians.
Okay now. Okay.
Ẹ̀jẹ̀ mi ni ẹ kí n gbọ́, àkọ́bí ewé ayò, ewé tún méje, ìtún ló ní ọ̀tún ẹ̀ ṣe, ìfà ló ní kan fà ẹ̀ mọ́ra, àìbínú gbogbo àtàrẹ, gbogbo méjì ọkà bàbà, gbogbo mẹ́ta ọkà wáṣẹ́, orí ló túmọ̀ ẹ̀dùn, gbogbo ọ̀nà ní túmọ̀ ẹsẹ̀. Akọni ìmọ̀ tú ìmọ̀ ọjọ́, ìmọ̀ èmi ni wọn kì í dálẹ̀. Wọ́n bá lọ mẹ́lẹ́mọ́, wọ́n á fi jóye ẹlẹ́mọ́. Akọni wọ́n bá lọ gbé fèrè, wọ́n á fi jóye ẹrùkù. Bọ́ọ̀wọ̀ wọn bá tẹ̀lé, wọ́n á fi jóye aláre. Àwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta parapọ̀, wọ́n wá jọ ń pẹ́ mọ́, ẹ̀ẹ́mọ́ olóko jẹ. Wọ́n ń pa Akíntọ́lá, Akíntọ́lá ọmọ Ògún. Wọ́n ń pa Ìyọ̀dà, ọmọ Àtàlàbọ̀bà. Àkọ́bí wọ́n ń pa Jíṣàtàdá dẹ, ọmọ ọba Ìjẹ̀bú Mèrè. Aṣíwájú odò gbólùkẹrẹ, Ajagun lólòdì ọ̀run. Tó o bá ṣe pé tìyẹ, tó o bá ṣe pé tìyẹ, lọ́ máa ń darí jọ wí. Àgbèrò mi kún gbọ́wọ́, ọ̀gọ́ ti ṣìgìdì máa gbé, àgétì ló máa ń gbé, àyàn ti ìlàyàn ewúrẹ́. Ọlọ́run dákun má padà lẹ́yìn ẹ, kó má gbàgbé ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́. Aṣíwájú Ọlọ́run dákun má padà lẹ́yìn ẹ. Àkọ́bí Ọlọ́run dákun má padà lẹ́yìn ẹ. Ọkọ̀ olúrẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run dákun má padà lẹ́yìn ẹ. Òdòlé sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, gómìnà sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, dẹ́pútì sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, ọ̀túnbá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, spíkà sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, bàbá Ìjẹ̀bú.
And there it is right there. Ọlọ́run má padà lẹ́yìn ẹ. May God never depart from you. So amen to that. And quite fortuitously, your super chat on the screen. So I think that song was directed in the direction of Ayo. So good day to you. Pardon me. Good day to you. Good to be in your company. And how are you? So another day, another session. It was a somewhat of a weird session yesterday. I came on very late, and the movement was not especially, but we have the ebb and flow of it. That is the beauty of it. That is the beauty of live streaming. The sum total of the preparation that I make is just to gather talking points, and then I come present the talking points, and the rest is in the lap of the gods, and often it favors us. So it almost certainly will favor us against today. Certainly, especially with the handsome super chat already on the screen. So good day to you. Good to be in your company. And how are you? Hope you've had a gloriously wonderful day. I have had a decent day as well. So thank you for asking. So all that funky stuff, the usual protocol, click on the like button just as soon as you're coming in. Subscribe if you haven't done that already. Hyperlink that says StreamYard invites you onto the screen. So all of those things, I don't say them just as a sing-along monologue. It's not, I'm not rapping. I'm not reciting Bollywood lyrics when I say those things. I'm inviting you to actually take an action. So when I say click on the like button just as soon as you're coming in, I'm expecting you to be doing exactly that, because you come here routinely, and the viewership never in any instance seemed to mirror. There was a time we were averaging 100 plus super charts. So let me just set Thomas to the back for a moment. There was a time we were averaging 100 likes per session, but that seemed to have petered us somewhat, especially when we went through that bit of big phase. So don't get too worked up. It's only politics. If you spend as much time as we know you spend here, then there's categorically no reason. That's free of charge, though. So my assault on your wallet is when I'm asking you to supercharge, but when I'm asking you to click on like and subscribe, that's just a routinous thing. It's just just 2 flicks of the mouse of the button. That's all you need to do. So click on like, click on subscribe, do all those nice things. And also, if you're watching it in watch back, all those principles still apply. You can still click on the like button if you're watching it on watch back. You can still subscribe if you're watching it on watch back, and you can still do super chat, which is I think super tank, if you're watching it on watch back. So none of not being part of the live streaming prevents you from being participatory. The only thing you cannot do if you're watching it on watch back is join us on the screen. But if you do want to join us on the screen, the hyperlink that says StreamYard, I'm resending it again. It's been a good while since we harvested a new voice. So if you're a new voice, never been on the screen before, if you're a new voice, never been on the screen before, today might be that day that you make your debut. So break your dog. That's what that means, by the way. So make your debut on the screen. Come join us. We're always thrilled whenever we hear a new voice. It's only because it enriches the conversation even more. Because we already know somewhat the political leanings of the regular voices. But if you come in as a new voice, then you add a bit of a sparkle to the proceedings. So click on that, like, subscribe, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard, and the $ at the bottom of the screen. We are expecting that to be used generously. We anticipate 5 super chats. Ayo set the example for more people to follow suit. So all those funky stuff. So let's get straight into the conversation, and we kick off the conversation with this one. So we go to the talking points and kick it off with this one. So you will be forgiven if you feel a sense of deja vu with this headline somewhat, because Ilorin seems to be the test hub of religious tolerance within the Nigerian space. Ilorin seems to be the test hub of religious tolerance within the Nigerian space. Remember when they prevented the Isheshe people from carrying out their festivities? It looks as though that somewhat excessive Islamic behavior is now cascading in the direction of Christianity. So the headline, Emir of Ilorin sent us to order you to disband. Muslim group storms Kwara Christian Center. So there it is right there. You see, there's actually a video clip, so we might as well watch it. Let me see.
káwọn bàbá ṣe bàbá káwọn ti bàbá wa yìí bàbá tó ní ìwé wa káwọn ti jì jí sí bàbá ṣe àárín ní tọwọ́ lé tí kò mú wa káwọn ta kò ní tó ní ìwé wa àti gbogbo àwọn àwọn àtọ́jẹ sí bàbá ìgbàlódé àtúntò ní tí wọ́n fi lè wò ní gbé eléyìí síbẹ̀ àbá ìyá tó ní bí ìyá àbáwá máa bá wa àgbàlagbà a sì bá àbáwá kí ló kọ tí ẹ gbé kámẹ́rà sí wọn létí àbáwá láti náà ní ìpín sọ́jà Abdulaziz láti bo láti ọlọ́jẹ àti àfáwá kí ló kọ yín àwọn ọlọ́jẹ bàbá mọ́gàjì ọlọ́jẹ kí ló kọ Abdulrasheed láti léwo láti ìlú wo mọ́mọ́tì ń béèrè ìlú Ìlọrin àfáwá rèé Muhammad Taofik láti Ìlọrin nílé wo ìdí ìgbà ní alóore àbí ní pàtàkì àfáwá rèé Yusuf olóko àwọn àgbàlagbà ìlú wo láti alóore nílọrin ẹ̀yin kọ́ bàbá wa Abdulateef ẹ̀yin kọ́ ìyá wa Wasila ẹ̀yin kọ́ ìyá wa àṣà ìlú wo ìlú Ìlọrin ẹ̀yin kọ́ bọ̀dá wa Abdulaziz nílọrin so wọ́n ṣe rí àrí pé gbogbo àwa tí à ń wò wá rí pé ó kọ mùsùlùmí nítorí wáyé ànílẹ́nu gbogbo kọ̀ yíyanyan Ìlọrin bàbá ọlọ́jà tuntun mú láti kọrin eléyìí sí lókọ bàbá ọba ìlú Ìlọrin ẹ̀já pé ṣé ìwúlẹ̀ kan náà.
a dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ìwáyà yẹn wa lónìí òun ní kìjikìji tá à ń gbọ́ pé mọ́ṣáláṣí kan bẹ ní Alálùbọ́sà nílọrin tí wọ́n sì ń ṣe mùsùlùmí ní wọ́n sì ìsìláàmù bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n sì ṣe kírísítẹ́nì kọ́lá àwọn tó ń ṣẹbọ.
àwọn ará pẹ̀rẹ̀ méjì.
àmọ́ nínú mẹ́ta tí wọ́n wí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá tẹ́ ń pariwo pé kí là ń wò a rí i pé wọ́n ń ṣe ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì nínú mọ́ṣáláṣí pọ̀ tí ó sì gbọdọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìlú yìí. léè tó já sí wípé èèyàn lè sọ pé òun kọ́ mọ́ṣáláṣí kó máa kí òun bẹ́ẹ̀ àmọ́ kí n pé yóò wá ní òun fi mọ́ṣáláṣí ṣe ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì èdè lọ́rùn. mọ́ṣáláṣí ó wà lọ́tọ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ó wà ní ọ̀tọ̀ nígbà táwa gbọ́ bàbá ọba lọ́rin
Sorry, have I been speaking to myself all the way through? Hello, Ekene. Have I been speaking to myself all the way through?
Yes, one man.
God.
I'm even just wasted almost getting to 1 hour.
So
Nobody's hearing.
all of the things I've been reading, nobody heard it.
Nobody heard you. I just
Oh
reading
God.
it.
All right. Sorry. Sorry about that. I was unmuted. I just saw now. Anyway. Oh God. Oh.
One man, are you reading? Nobody is hearing you again now.
I'm not sure who is muting me. Can you hear me now? You
I
stay
can hear
there,
you
Ken.
now.
You stay there, Ken. And if I go off, then tell me. So let's go back to it again. Emir of Ilorin sent us to order you to disband. Muslim group storms Kwara Christian Center. Members of an unidentified Muslim group recently stormed a worship center that plays host to both Christian and Islamic services in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital. The group members, who said they were acting on the instruction of the Emir of Ilorin, Dr. Ibrahim Sulugambari, revealed that the worship center was originally a mosque, but has been housing worshippers outside of the religion. They were led by a man referred to as XYZ, who declared that such practice is an anomaly that would not be tolerated. So the religious intolerance in Ilorin, so that one. And I gave a long and extended essay on so many stuff. So we're going back to the KYC now. Courts back CBN directs banks to collect customer social media handles. So this is the headline piece. I spent a lot of time on this actually. The Federal High Court Lagos has upheld a new Central Bank of Nigeria CBN regulation that requires financial institutions to demand and collect social media handles of their customers as part of standard Know Your Customer procedure. In a ruling on Thursday, May the 16th, the presiding judge, Justice Nnamdi Dinga, said the regulation is not a breach of the rights to privacy of bank customers. Justice Dinga struck out a suit filed by a Lagos-based lawyer, Chris Eke, seeking a declaration that the regulation as contained in Section 6.6, subsection A4 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Customer Due Diligence Regulation 2023. Eke said the new CBN regulation is undemocratic, unconstitutional, null and void to the extent that its inconsistency with Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution. Oh, so mute yourself a little bit.
Mama, hold
yes.
on, please.
What's going on now?
For almost 20 minutes.
Yes,
no audio.
Yes, Ekene told me that. That's why I started again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, go on.
All right, brilliant. All right. All right. You threw me off my stride there. The Federal High Court Lagos held a The Federal High Court Lagos has upheld a Central Bank of Nigeria regulation that requires financial institutions to demand and collect social media handles of their customers as part of Know Your Customer procedures. In a ruling on Thursday, May the 16th, the presiding judge, Justice Nnamdi Dinga, said the regulation is a breach of the right to privacy of bank customers. Justice Dinga, who struck out a suit filed by Lagos-based lawyer Chris Eke, seeking a declaration that the regulation as contained in Section 6, subsection A6 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Customer Due Diligence Regulation 2023. Eke said the new CBN regulation is undemocratic, unconstitutional, null and void to the extent of its inconsistency with Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The applicant had asked the court to grant an order of perpetual injunction restraining the central bank from enforcing the regulation which requires financial institutions to request customers' social media handles as part of normal bank customer due diligence requirements. The CBN, in its response to the suit, filed a notice of preliminary injunction challenging the competence of the suit. The Apex Bank also disagreed that the regulation constitutes an interference with the private life of the applicant as claimed. In his judgment, Justice Dinga held that the notice of preliminary injunction had merit, and he subsequently struck out the suit. The judge. So I'm not going to give you the fullness of everything else because I read so much and I didn't even know I wasn't speaking to anyone. The judge said, in his view, a social media handle is the same as the provision of an email address, phone number, and other means by which a potential customer of a bank can be contacted or due diligence or due diligence to determine if the person is fit and proper for the bank to do business with. As such, the regulation does not amount to an infringement of the right to privacy. So that's the nonsensity of that judgment, of course. Banks demanding your social media handle does not infringe on your right to privacy. So this one I was saying, before I realized I was only speaking to myself, this one especially speaks to Ekene, who has been asking when this thing is going to be birthed. Students' loan application portal opens May the 24th. So that's that story that I kind of have been waiting with bated breath for. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund has said that it would open the portal for students to apply for the loan on May the 24th. Managing Director, NELFUND, Akitunde Sawyer, said this in a statement by the Media and Public Relations Lead, whatever his name is, on Thursday in Abuja. Sawyer said through the portal, students can now access loans to pursue their academic aspirations without financial constraints. The scheme kicks off with 1.2 million beneficiaries. The fund would be paid directly to the tertiary institution of the benefiting student. The student would also be entitled to stipends, which would be paid directly to them. The statement reads, the managing director of the Nigerian Loan Fund, led by its managing director, Mr. Akitunde Sawyer, are thrilled to announce the 24th of May 2024 as the official date for the opening of a portal for student loan application. So it'll be interesting to see the demography that actually applies for that the most. I suspect that it will be overly populated by the obedience. This marks a significant milestone in the commitment of President Bola Tinubu for fostering accessibility and inclusive education for all Nigerian students. Through the portal, students can now access loans to pursue their academic aspirations without financial constraints. The portal provides a user-friendly interface for students to submit their loan application conveniently. We encourage all eligible students to take advantage of this opportunity to invest in their future and contribute to the growth and development of our nation. So there it is. So that one is for you right there, Kene. I'm just going to give you headlines for most of what's left. Because I've read so much and given so much analysis, I didn't know I was still talking to myself. Fresh leaks exposes secret posh properties owned by Atiku, Ekweremadu, Ojikalu, other Nigerians in Dubai. So a good 20% of the net worth of Dubai is Nigerian money. No doubts about that. If you don't believe me, go to Dubai and go to the gold souk. Yes, go to the gold souk. They will tell you, they'll speak to you in Yoruba, you'll see Nigerian flags there. The whole of the money buying gold in Dubai is Nigerian money. Just in 36 speakers back state police. So the state police system, of course, it has to go through the individual houses of parliament of all of the states, and it looks as though they are already on board. Speakers of the 36 House of Assemblies in Nigeria on Thursday endorsed ongoing processes by the National Assembly to provide, let's do that again. Speakers of the 36 House of Assemblies in Nigeria on Thursday endorsed ongoing processes by the National Assembly to make provision for state policing in the nation's constitution. The speakers made their resolution known at the end of their meeting in Abuja. The two chambers of the National Assembly are working to further alter some provisions of the 1999 Constitution. So it looks as though that state police is being somewhat fast-tracked. So we've already had a look at that. Let's have a look at this. 2027 polls. Ohaneze cautions Obi against relying on Northern merger. So you can't fault him for trying, but it's always a fool's errand because the Northerners play their politics differently. If you all remember what happened to Rotimi Amechi, they went as far as to give him a chieftaincy title. He gave them everything, including a railway to Niger Republic, and comments the hour, they just threw him in the dustbin. And that is what Ohaneze is cautioning Obi about. 2027 poll, Ohaneze cautions Obi against relying on Northern merger. So let's just leave that at the headline. We've already done the Ilorin bit, so let's move on from there. Dangote refinery seeks 2 million barrels of U.S. oil. So the Nigerian the quota of oil are being allotted to Dangote by Nigeria. It's not sufficient enough to satiate its capacity. This is the second tranche, I think, it's buying from the Americans. Dangote refinery seeks 2 million barrels of U.S. oil report. So let's just take a soupçon of this one. Nigeria's newly constructed Dangote refinery, Lagos, is seeking to purchase millions of barrels of U.S. crude over the next year as it ramps up processing rates, Bloomberg reported on Thursday. According to the report, the plant has issued a term tender for the purchase of 2 million barrels a month of, so it's not actually a one-off, but 2 million barrels a month, because the quantity that Nigeria can supply him, it cannot satiate the capacity of that refinery. Nigeria's newly constructed Dangote refinery, Lagos, is seeking to purchase millions of barrels of U.S. crude over the next year as it ramps up processing rates, Bloomberg reports. According to the report, the plant has issued a term tender for the purchase of 2 million barrels a month of West Texas Intermediate Midland crude for 12 months beginning July. So there it is. I think that's sufficient enough from that. Let's give you this one. Economic hardship. 8 political parties converge on Kaduna. So still, they are trying to form that juggernaut party to try and wrestle power from APC. So good luck with that. BRICS. 2 new countries agreed to ditch dollars. So this is a narrative of Nigeria and India we are agreeing to do trade in their localized currencies. India and Nigeria agreed to use local currencies, not dollar, for trade. So I'm not quite sure how that works. On the heel of the de-dollarization agenda, BRICS member India and the African nation Nigeria have agreed to use local currencies for bilateral trade and not US dollars. The 2 countries officially signed a trade agreement where the majority of payments will be settled in local currencies ditching the US dollar. So they'll still have to establish value in the US dollar, is what I said previously. So that's that. Let me send the link again, see if the room can repopulate. We play the Kegite music, we kick it off. Apologies for that break in transmission. My phone was on silent, so even Thomas was trying to call me, but my phone was on silent. But let's play the Kegites and then we kick off.
Water, only water, only water, where they see ma. Water, only water, where they see ma. Hapa o naido, hapa o naido, hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Bobby Master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ o. Chief White Latif kẹ̀kẹ́ ọ̀run mú ìní o.
Ó lè lò.
Àkùkọ ọ̀run méjìkọ. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
So there it is. Koko Neru Agbeche may that have nothing to do with us. So Kenya with us, as you already saw, Adande Koko here as well, as you see now. So we kick it off with the two of them. Hopefully the room continues to populate as we carry on. Kenya, we kick it off with you. So the student's loan is now on board. You've been asking about this for a good while now. Kenya? Are you there? I'm sure you can hear me now.
Is he not there, or what happened to him?
I don't know what happened. He's there. I don't know quite.
Maybe he stepped away from his phone.
All right. You kick it off for us then, Adanle Koko. So do you want to start with the student's loan, or do you want to start with the CBN now requesting to have people's social media handle as part of KYC?
Okay, let me start with anyone. Doesn't matter. So, greetings to our listeners around the world. Click on the like button, share and subscribe if you haven't done so. So with Cardoso, he said to get approval from the bank, maybe from the court, to effect the levy. Is that it? Hello, woman.
Not the levy. No. You know what KYC is, know your customer. So is all of these retinue of questions that you are asked if you're wanting to open an account with a financial institution. So the CBN has now come up with the regulation that as part of the processes of opening a bank account, the bank must collect your social media handles and check them as well. So a lawyer went to court to say this is an infringement on people's privacies, but the court threw it out.
Well, to me, I think it's not right. Digging too much into your privacy, to your social media account and all the rest like that. I think that is too much privacy to ask for. I mean, when you want to open bank account, if I thought whatever your information requires, it should not go beyond your name, your address, your place of work, and stuff like that. But going to know much about your social media account and stuff like that, I think that is asking for too much. Well, you said I believe so. The bank ruled in their favor, so that person or whoever that took them to court can appeal. But as far as I'm concerned, I think
it's quite excessive, isn't it? What would UBA want to know with my Instagram account? What's their business? What's that got to do with them?
That I don't know. Can you hear me, woman?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, so that I don't know. I don't know why they want to know too much about someone's social media account and stuff like that. I don't know the rationale behind it. Maybe they cannot speak. You see, when they are taking, government should be able to tell the citizen, reason why they are asking for talk or where they are taking step, But the way it is now, we don't know the rationale behind it. They should be able to explain. Maybe it can be reasonable and people can listen. I mean, people can show understanding with them. But the way it is now, I think it's too outrageous. I think I'm not on board with it. I'm not in support of it at all. Would they be asking for? Would they be asking about your state?
It just seems so random and unnecessary. And the judge, it was equating it to asking for people's email address and telephone number. There are no the clue is in the word social now. It says it's no different from asking for your phone number and your email address, and therefore it's okay.
Yeah, and the reason why they ask for email address is to furnish you with important information concerning your bank account, or if they, you know, if they're trying to communicate with you, through your email. So that is easy. And what's the point of your social media? Would they, on the way forward, would they even ask of the state of your health? They want to know if you have diabetes or you have high blood pressure, or what is going on. This is outrageous, and I think it's just it should be we should speak up against it. It's unreasonable, totally unreasonable. I don't know. So that's the way I see that. I don't. A lot of things that people in position of power are trying to do in Nigeria are looking very senseless, totally senseless. This is totally senseless. Your social media accounts. So if I want to open an account now, they want to know if I'm on Twitter, I'm on this, I'm on that, and I mean that's my privacy now. That's my life. I should be able to, you know.
It is very much a privacy issue, isn't it?
Oh yes, yes.
What does my bank want to do with my Facebook?
I don't know.
Do they want to see pictures of my children, or are they looking for hot babes, or what? I mean, you know.
I think they what I can suspect they're trying to do is I think the what do you call this national security office, or what do they call it?
Do you think they are starting to harvest too much data from us in Nigeria?
That is what they're trying to do. The national security office, or what do they call
you have to link your phone to your NIM and link that to your bank and link your Instagram and Facebook. So from their office, they can monitor your life.
That is what they're trying to do. And when you try, it looked like a way of stifling people's, voice. If they have all your information, your social media account, and you happen to be a very outspoken on social media against the government, they can easily go after you. They can frozen your account. They can deal with you in a very mercilessly way. I think that is what they're trying to do. So I think that is illegal, and we should stand up against it. So it's totally illegal as far as I'm concerned. That's my take on that. It's totally illegal.
All right. Let me take you to this space. The much anticipated, now birthed students' loan application portal opens May the 24th. So 1.2 million students start your applications immediately. So this is a real paradigm shift within the Nigerian space. If that system works as it should, then in perpetuity, nobody needs to really. They will pay your fees and give you stipends as well. So another major move. I think when we come to the anniversary of this guy, he will at least have some things to point to.
This is a wonderful program that will give the opportunity to the children of the poor to have, education of higher learning without thinking of the cost, So I think when they so they said they're going to open it up in later in the month, right? They said they're going to open up.
Yes, the 24th. It's just barely a week, isn't it?
So I think we'll be waiting forward. We'll be looking forward to that day. We want to see how many Nigerians are going to apply, how many Nigerian students are going to apply for it, and that will tell us how much Nigerians value education, how much
I will certainly be forwarding this information to my people that I know they're about to enter that.
Everybody have heard it. Look, woman, this is not.
They will probably crash that system.
That system will surely crash. Even those are the villages. They already aware of it. Information like this quickly spreads. Like so. On that very day, how many people that apply will tell us how important that this program is, how important it is. So I think it's going to be a legacy that the Tinubu presidency will leave behind. It's going to be an historical program forever, as long as Nigerian exists. Students all over Nigeria don't have to worry about how much their education is going to cost, how much their housing is going to cost. Once you are eligible.
I'm especially pleased for the female students who are having to do new and imaginative things to fund themselves through education. Some of those things that they do that are, at least they remove that as an excuse for doing all those solo show something.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I mean, this will really, the important thing that they did is that there's no condition attached to it. Everybody is qualified. That is the most, that is what is so exciting about it. No stringent, conditionalities. You just apply. Once you have your letter of admission, they make payment directly to your school, and whatever you are qualified, for your financial upkeep, they will post that to your account as well, so that you can have money for your upkeep. While in school, you don't have to. But they have to be very, very clear on that. How much do they want to give them as that?
I don't think the stipend will be anything especially generous. It will just be in barely enough to get by. It really to augment what you have already. So I don't think anybody can just rely on that to carry themselves to, because when they're saying stipends, what are the costs? Books, accommodation, feeding. So they're not going to give them enough to cover all those spaces.
Yeah, maybe it's gonna be. Maybe they're gonna cap it at minimum wage. Who knows how much they're gonna do, but how much they're gonna pay to them. But the most important is the cost of education, the tuition, and whatever is attached to fees is to pay for the education. That is the most important, and once that is taken care of, they can the stipend, well, they can manage whatever given to them, and just to augment what their parents going to give. So I think it's going to be.
Ajahn Lekoko, I think they're asking you to speak up a bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a bit better. Yeah, carry on.
Okay. So this will encourage Nigerian students maybe to stay focused more on their education and not have distraction on doing some other things. So it is commendable, and we want to see the success of it. And I hope that the what do you call it? The portal will be ready for millions or maybe thousands of Nigerian students that will launch into it on that very day. We want to see how it's going to happen. So, but I hope they manage it well and they make it successful, and every student can, show appreciation on it. I'm not saying that, what I mean by appreciation is that, I mean, they can report it on social media. They can tell us how they apply and how they got successful or approved for it.
It's almost certain to be rubbished by Peter Obi and his crew, though.
No, they're not going to rubbish that, because
They will.
they might try, but they will look stupid to rubbish it. I know, like you said, yes, if the portal crash, they might rubbish that. Oh, look at what they're doing. They cannot do anything. We told you it cannot be successful. Yeah, but but the program itself, I don't think any one of them, I don't know who you have heard from any one of them that have rubbished it. I've not had anyone, because this is a program that the youth are going to benefit. This is going to pay for their education, to get prepared for future, for their future, for their better future. This will prepare them for better future. So why are they going to condemn it? But I've not seen anyone condemn it. I mean, I just wish the portal will be able to withstand the storm that is on the way. So uh, it's gonna be a legacy that Tinubu will leave behind, and forever. Cost of education, of education at the higher institution is not going to be problems to Nigerian students again. I mean, this is a remarkable one. I want to see the success of it. I want to see it successful, and the children of the poor will not be worried. The parents will not be worried about their children having, education of higher institution. Once they get past, what do you call it, secondary school education, it is guaranteed that surely once they get admission, uh, you know, uh, by any university, surely the payment for school is no more problem. Government will take care of that, and they have to pay it in the future when they start, working, and it's with no interest rate. It's zero interest rate. So one man, that is wonderful. Zero interest rate, isn't it?
I paused when you said that because I wasn't quite sure if interest was being applied.
There's no interest rate. It's zero interest rate. Zero. They are not paying interest rate on it.
And to be repaid when they start their job, of course. So
it's
yes,
be 2 years after they start start after graduation and they start working. 2 years. You could start as soon as possible, but they give you the grace of 2 years to commence payment. By then, you will have stabilized yourself, get your own apartment. I mean, start, get your own, get yourself stabilized economically, financially, and then they can start making the payment. So it's a wonderful It's a wonderful program. I wish it can zero. We don't have that here in the United States. There's no zero interest rate on your what do you call it? On your financial aid.
Yeah, neither is it the case here. So I wonder how they're able to sustain it at zero interest rate. There should be a nominal interest rate on it.
There's no. I mean,
I'll have to double check that. I'm not sure if that's.
It's purely, look, one man, it is purely government funded. There's no bank funding this. It is not bank funding it.
Yes, but still they should apply interest rate of some sort, like a nominal interest rate.
Well,
just for the sustainability of it and to ensure non-payers.
I think it's going to be funded every year. You understand, by the government.
But at some point it should be able to be self-funding. When about two sets have come out and they started repaying, then that money can recycle in perpetuity. But then interest has to be applied for the percentages that are not able to repay.
Well, I think the moment they privatize it, give it to banks to handle, I think they will start paying interest. But for now, for those that are going to enjoy it now, it is zero interest rate. If I'm saying something wrong, somebody can correct me. But that is what I read about it. Zero interest rate. I could be wrong.
Yes, I'm not sure about that, but I'm saying it shouldn't be zero interest rate, is what I'm saying.
I think I like it for being zero interest rate because they are paying back this money. It is our money in the first place. It is our taxpayers' money.
We know all that. We're talking about sustainability. So let's say, for instance, so the first tranche now is going to be about 1.2 million people. So let's say about 300,000 are not able to repay, and do they write that off as a loss, or do they ensure that by having a nominal interest rate on it to cover that eventuality?
Well, I think since they have mapped out their strategy in collecting all beneficiary information, including their VIN number, their NIM, and possibly maybe their passport number and stuff like that. I don't see how some people want to, take that loan and run away and don't pay it. It's going to be difficult. But
I'm not talking about running away. I'm talking about being unable to pay. There's some people that will do it and then they will japa. There's some people, they will not even find employment. There's so many reasons why enough of their own doing that a lot might not be able to pay.
I agree with you. But, the only way you cannot pay, if you have not gotten job, they cannot force you to pay. But the moment you started working, they will surely deduct it from the source. But it is. Let's see how it's gonna. I believe on the way forward, they will come out with more. They will attach some. Maybe they're going to attach interest rate to it. Maybe they're going to give it to private, banks, to handle it, other than the board that they constituted now, that is handling it, that is going to handle it rather. So let's see how it is going to look like on the way forward. But at the moment, I think I like it without the interest rate. It is good. It's a way of showing, giving to the youth. What I mean by giving to youth, I mean supporting them to have education, pay for their education, even though that it look free now, it is not totally free. They are going to pay this money back in the future when they started working. I mean, so I'm on board with them for making it zero interest rate. I mean, it's a social program for Nigerian youth. So why charging them interest rate on it? Um, the fact that over here in advanced countries that they are charging interest rate on student loan, it doesn't mean that we have to do the same. We just have to make sure that we have people that are disciplined managing it. We have they have information of the beneficiary. They have it and they update it adequately in such a way that they can, you know, get that money back as soon as you are working. So I like it. I don't want any interest rate be attached to it. We don't have to be thinking in the way that like too much of this Western life style and the way things is done in the West. We don't have to think that that is the same way it should be done. Where in Nigeria or in any part of Africa. No, we need to support our children, to have that education. So this program will definitely give them that strong support to have education. And the good thing is that they will pay back this money in the future at their convenience when they are making money. So I'm not a supporter of interest rate, woman. Let's leave it like this now.
All right, brilliant. Let me take you to the next headline then. 36 speakers back state police. So I'm not quite sure if it's had the second reading in Parliament, but certainly, because of course, it has to be endorsed by all of the state houses as well before the constitutional amendment takes place. But that state police, it looks as though now I won't be surprised if it passes through and becomes a thing before the end of the year. So, what are you making of the headline on the screen?
I mean, it's clear that it's surely going to pass through. 36 speakers represent the assembly of each house, and as well as what the people of every state stand for. I believe all the governors of in the federation, I think they want state police so that they can fight insecurity that is constituted by criminals in the bush, that constituted, a menace to people going to their farmland to farm and to live good life in their villages. I think it is clear that across the country is a united front. This statement is a united front, for state police. So that is the way it looked to be. What we should be doing, or what the assembly and the top should do, is to come out with a strong policy as to how this can be managed, how they can manage it in every state of the federation, in such a way that the governors who are going to be in charge of the state police will not abuse the use of those state police against the interests of the people. They will not politicize it. They will make sure that they strictly what is strictly set up for, in which is to, secure, ensure security in that state is achieved, and not politicize it to harass, molest, humiliate their political opponent. That is what they have to work, do a diligent work to make sure that the government cannot use it against their political opponent. That is what is so important to me. But this statement by the speaker from all the states of the Federation in support of this tells me that the country is united to have the state police, and it's so sure that it's going to come, surely going to come. We can't. We can't. We need it. We need it. We need to have a new policing system, or in addition to Nigerian police, that can, augment the effort of Nigerian police in tackling insecurity in that country. Doing this, to achieve success, we have to be prepared as well to equip them. They must be adequately equipped. They should be able to, equip them to go into the bush to fight and flush out those criminals in the bush. They must be flushed out. The country is structured well, politically, and if they follow that structure well, they can fight insecurity. Each local government, if we allow local government to function well alongside this policing system, I think yes, we should be able to defeat this insecurity in Nigeria. So it's clear now that everybody wants it, and let's wait for it to come. And I hope they're going to be very honest and honest with it in the way it's going to work. They're not going to politicize it. That is what I'm afraid of. I don't want them to politicize it and use it against political opponents. But to say for the fear of politicizing it and say, oh, we don't let not have it. I think that is not the right decision. The right decision is that let us have it, let us make it work, let us fight against politicizing it, but we must have, state police, because Nigerian police is very ineffective. They are not sufficient enough in terms of the number to fight insecurity in that country. So state police, we augment them and we make it work. Security management in that country work effectively and efficiently as well. So let me leave it there.
All right, brilliant. To the next headline on the screen, 2027 polls, Ohaneze cautions Obi against relying on Northern merger. So, we all know how the North play their politics. The House always backs itself. Do you see where the Ohaneze are coming from? Because we've seen it severally when people from Abiola, who was caught in the North, to Rotimi Amechi, who gave them a railway. These people, they will only ever make decisions in their own interests. So all this borehole politics that Obi is playing, Ohaneze are inviting him to pause for caution. What are you then making then of this pause that Ohaneze are inviting Obi to take?
Well, they said it to be very cautious of. Repeat it again, one man. What did they say? 1 month.
They said 2027 polls, Obi Ohaneze cautions Obi against relying on Northern merger. I think it's the narrative of all of this cozying up that he's been doing with Atiku Abubakar and all of these boreholes. So it's a politics that we've seen in the past, and the North, they only ever go for what serves their best interest.
Well, I think that statement is not a good political statement. Obi cannot win the presidency of that country if he doesn't align, if he doesn't form alliance with the North. So what do they want him to do different if they don't want him to rely on the North? What should he do different that can get him to the position of presidency? I don't know. Obi is a politician. He should be able to align with any group in the North that have the same political ideology with him or aspiration to capture the presidency. So I don't know why they're making this statement. To me, I think it sounds divisive to me. They shouldn't be making statements like this. They should encourage him to go further into the North, to make alliance into the North with political organizations that can make it possible for him to realize his political dream. So it's a divisive statement. It's not a good statement. Do they think that only the Igbo land can get him winning in Igbo land alone?
No. They are going through historical antecedents to caution him. Because you are right to say that nobody can win, especially the presidency in Nigeria without the North. But if it's playing this politics, they're telling him to proceed with caution, essentially. Because of course, we know how the North play their politics now. They're never going to go against what is not in their best interest. And Obi in 2027 is not in their best interest. So they're just asking him not to get overly excited by all of this borehole politics that is playing.
Well, whether you like it or not, whether they like it or not, Obi must make friends with the North. Those that are genuine and not genuine. Politics sometimes can be, in Nigeria, it's a business. And business carries some risk. So the risk in the game, in the business of politics, is that some will be loyal to you, some will not be, some will be deceitful. You, whoever that is a practical politician, along the way will be able to know those that are reliable in every part of the country that can work with him. So for him to be cautious, I don't know how they want to define that word cautious. If you want to be too cautious to know who you want to play, you that doesn't have base, you don't have base at all, you know. So I don't know the way they want to define that cautious. So I think what they should advise Obi to do is to go deeper, to make more friends, to you know get closer, because when you don't get close to them, when they don't know you, they can't associate with you politically. Tinubu today, who is the president, have been coming a long way. He make friends with a lot of Northerners for many years. They develop good friendship. They develop confidence in him. And that is why they work hard for him to deliver the North for him against their own son, who is Atiku. He defeated, if you put the vote in the North side by side against that of Atiku, between him and Atiku, Tinubu had more vote than Atiku. What made it possible is because of long-time friendship with the Northerner. Sacrifice. It takes a hard work for Southern politicians to be accepted in the North. It takes a hard work. So I think what they should be telling him is that go further, get yourself, make more friends, get more closer, and develop confidence. Let them develop confidence in you, and that is what we will. That is what we attract their support for you in the future. So I'm not saying be more cautious. So the word cautious that they are saying, it's, to me, I define it as, Northerners are unreliable. Be very careful as you are playing your politics with them. That is what they are saying. So that statement is a very divisive political statement, which should not be coming from an ethnic, social, political organization like that. They shouldn't be making such statement publicly. It's a statement that to me, it sounds as like they're advising him, be very careful of the Northerners. They are very deceitful. They are not too reliable when it comes to politics. They are not reliable partner. That is what that statement, that is the way it sounds to me. Other person can interpret it in a different way, but that's the way I can interpret it. So to me, it's a statement that is not good enough. It's divisive, and they shouldn't be making such statement. So that's the way I see it. Obi, to be president of Nigeria, man, it's not easy, man. One man, particularly to get for a southerner to get the support of the North, you must have worked your way through deep into them. that confidence, that friendship, strong, partnership, and you must have developed it with them, and that is what can really give you their support. Obasanjo had a very strong partnership with the North. That is why he was able to win in the North. Abiola that won, that the election was annulled, he was Abiola, all the Emayas, all the political leaders are all Abiola friends. They are all his friends. So Tinubu, who is that politician in the North that Tinubu at one time or the other haven't worked together with? Maybe, is it in the SDP you want to talk about? So that the Democratic Party during the Abiola days? Is it what is it? He has worked, he walked deep into them and developed that partnership, that good friendship, and it's a hard work. So they should be advising Obi to work hard to penetrate into the North and make friends with them and develop that, good friendship with them. That is what can. He's a Christian, and they've done it before for a Christian before. Obasanjo was a Christian. They voted for Obasanjo twice. So people cannot come and tell me that, oh, the Northerner, they won't vote for Christian. That's not true. They voted for Obasanjo. Obasanjo is a Christian. So they can vote for Obi as well if Obi play his politics well and align with the political shakers in the world that can give him that vote that is required, to win the presidency. So Ohio is for that statement, I think they got it wrong. It's not the right statement that should be coming out from an ethnic organization against another ethnic group. I think it's divisive, and somebody should tell them it is wrong. And I'm telling them on this platform, it's wrong. It's not the way, to say it. They say it wrong, and maybe they can do better in the future. So let me leave it there, one man.
All right. To the headline on the screen, Dangote refinery seeks 2 million barrels of U.S. oil. So, and it's not a one of 2 million, by the way. It's a 12-month commission of 2 million per month. So, it's the narrative that the quota that Dangote is getting from NNPC is not sufficient enough to satiate that juggernaut edifice that he has put up in Lagos State. So what are you then making then of Nigeria now being a net importer of crude oil?
Woman, it is shameful that with abundance of oil we have in Nigeria, we fail to develop the capacity, to even satisfy.
I think it may well be to do with the quota system. I think they can't get past OPEC. It might well be an OPEC thing, that they're only able to pump X amount.
I don't think so. I think we are not producing enough. We are not even reaching our capacity in OPEC due to insecurity in the region where, what do you call it? Insecurity and theft in the region where we get this oil. The old pipeline are destroyed. They punch hole and are destroyed at one point or the other. So we cannot really even pass the crude through the pipeline to any part of the country. So it's just the rascality in that part of the country. Some criminals that that destroy pipeline in order for bunkering, and to carry out oil theft are responsible for all this problem, and Nigerian states too that have failed to manage that.
Do you think OPEC will allow Nigeria to because Dangote sells to the international market. It's not just there to satiate the domestic market. Do you think the OPEC quota will allow them to meet his needs on top of our already allotted quota?
I don't know the way the OPEC allocation. I don't know the way it is managed, but and I don't know on daily basis how much Dangote refinery require. So if we know how much that Dangote require every day from us, and then we can easily say whether we are failed as a country to satisfy that demand by Dangote that is located within our territory. This money that Dangote will be paying for importation of this crude in United States should be the money to pay to us as a country if we have developed our capacity well. And like I said earlier, we are not meeting our OPEC quota. I think our OPEC quota is 1.8 million per day. I think we're around maybe 1.4 or so. So the 400,000 that we are losing every day is too much. 1 month, 400,000 barrels per day. I mean, that will have been that will have satisfied more than enough for Dangote production every day. But we cannot. We failed to achieve our full capacity in the production of crude, and we cannot satisfy Dangote's demand. That's why Dangote is spending these millions of dollars outside. So United States is benefiting from Dangote while we are losing money. So Dangote's money is creating jobs in United States. It's helping United States economy to grow, and our own economy is suffering here. So it's just a failure on our own side that an home-based refinery cannot get crude from us for production. So that by itself is that by itself is to me is it can be described as failures to achieve productivity in the country. It's bad for us that a country that is producing oil cannot satisfy adequately demand for crude for production. So that money is spent outside for importation. Do you know how much that's going to cost us? Dangote have to source, what do you call this thing? Forex from the central bank to pay for this crude from United States. And we are having forex problem. So when we don't produce in Nigeria and we are importing from outside, our currency value will continue to suffer. So it's a failure on our own side. There's no way we want to describe it. It's a total failure. And these are the things that affect the currency, the value of our currency, because we don't buy in Nigeria. We buy from outside. So now we are going to have some other refineries that are going to be springing up very soon. So how do we service them with the crude? Definitely, they will be buying their crude from outside the country. So the insufficient forest, we still have to use it to buy crude from outside. So there's going to be much pressure on the forex, and the more there is pressure, more demand rather for the forex, the more demand for forex that we cannot satisfy, our currency will take a hit for that. So they have to be preparing now to see what they can do to service the demand of this crude by this refinery. That is what can really help that country, economically, and improve productivity in that country. We must do something to satisfy the demand of all these refineries that are going to be coming up in Nigeria. We should be able to supply their crude sufficiently for production. I don't know how much we sell to international community. What are we talking about to international customer? But those that we have at home, we should be able to satisfy them. And because by doing that, that will create more jobs, that will, boost productivity, and that will help the economy, to expand. And so I don't. It's a failure on our own side that this guy is gonna be buying these things from outside the country when we have abundance of crude in Nigeria that we can supply him, but our failure to develop our potential, adequately is responsible for this. I might be wrong, but that's the way I see it. I know that countries around the world, even some countries that have refineries, they see source for crude from other parts of the world, for processing in that country. But in our own case, we have it, and we have, crude in abundance. We should be able to develop it. If we cannot satisfy our home base, refinery, then we'll be spending too much of the little forest, to import crude. That is not good. The economy will take a hit for that, and our currency will continue to, suffer devaluation in that respect as well. That's the way I see it.
All right, Ajale Koko, let me take you to one more space and then we'll wrap it up. I think everybody has gone to bed, so maybe we should as well. So I'll take you to one final space. Nigeria, India agreed to use local currencies, not US dollars, for trade. So it's almost like trade by barter. What are you making of that?
Well, I think it is good for us, particularly now that we don't have enough forex. We have to. India represent. I think India is the biggest trading partner to us. Maybe between it, maybe China or India, one of them. So if we are trading in our own currency, I think that will enable us to save a lot of dollar, which is very hard to come by now, and use those dollars for other, other things.
The bilateral trade between Nigeria and I wasn't even sure that it was this high. 11.8 billion. The bilateral trade between Nigeria and India stood at $11.8 billion 2022-2023. I never knew we were trading with them that much.
Yeah. Is it higher than that of China, or China is higher?
I don't know. I'm just getting it off this article.
11.8. So I think it will help us because even the trade between us, we are trading at deficit with them. They are trading at surplus with us because I think I think the value of our trade with them is maybe around 2 billion. I'm not sure, but I know. Compare it to what the value of their trade with us. I think they are far ahead of us. The gap is very, very wide. So, and then trading with each other in dollars, I don't think it benefits us the most. I mean, it doesn't benefit us at all. It benefits them because we are paying them in dollars for that 11 point something billion. So 11 point something billion in dollars. In this time that we don't even have the dollar, that we are shopping around the world for dollar, we are begging for loan for dollar to run our economy, to develop infrastructure, to do things, to do that. I think whatever whatever borrowing that we are getting now in dollars from international monetary fund or other financial institution should be targeted at, the specific infrastructure or whatever is targeted to develop in our economy. That is what we should not use it for consumption. This 11 point something is for consumption mostly. Yeah, some could be for maybe raw materials and some other things, but most of it, I believe, we will be. I mean, was for consumption, and that is not good. We should be using, this dollar to particularly develop, specific sector of the economy that we make a meaningful economic impact in the economy. That is what the dollar should be targeted at and not used for consumption. So trading in our currency with India now, I think that will boost our what do you call it? The value of our currency, of our naira, because when there is demand for naira, it definitely boosts its value. Indian will be demanding for naira now, to buy product in Nigeria. So, and that is good for our currency, and that will stabilize our currency. And when our currency is stabilized, that will stabilize our economy as well. So I hope this same thing can be done with China. If we can pursue what we are trying to do with, this trading payment in naira with China as well, I think we will save a lot of dollar, and that will definitely help our currency to appreciate in value, and we help, and that will bring the stability that we are looking forward to against dollar, and that will satisfy. I mean, that will stabilize, our economy. That is good, woman. It's good. I wish they can pursue it vigorously and try to, pursue the same measure with other currency, but other country, particularly China. Those two countries are the biggest trading partner with Nigeria, China and India. So it's a good thing. Wama, you there?
No, I am here. Brilliant. Let's get a little cameo from Baba, and then we just wrap it up. Baba, you came in at the last minute. We're just about to shut it down. Baba. All right. I'm not quite sure Baba is fully ready. So, Ajale Koko, let's wrap it up and then we'll reconvene again for tomorrow. Maybe we'll start earlier.
Don't go yet. I'm here.
All right. Let's hear from you, Baba.
How are you? A very fine evening to you, one man. And Aja, Otujometa, Kiningon. Wow. People in the comment section, I salute you all and our esteemed listener. Please click the like button. This news from India, actually, the news is emanating from India, so it excites me because it's not something on any of our news portal at all. So that makes it at least genuine in my own estimation. And I think it's a good thing because the bulk of our pharmaceuticals, finished or raw materials, are always from India, particularly. So I'm not surprised at the size of the trade, which is 11 billion. But on balance of trade, I don't know on whose side it is lopsided. So whatever it is, I know definitely it will be against Nigeria. But if we are
it's on our side.
Exactly. So if we are paying in their local currency, I mean, which is readily available, which they can pro forma invoiced against, I think that will help businessmen to a very great extent. And I think we had something like this as far as 3 years back during that Buhari's administration, that awful administration. I don't know why they didn't follow up. Lawyer Falano, SAN, has been very vocal about that. He educated the government to the need, because between China and Nigeria, I think is about 22 billion. So it's actually double that of India. And if India is part of BRICS, China is part of BRICS, and they are cutting side deals, I think we should vigorously and rigorously pursue this also with China to make the ease of business very possible for our importers for the necessary raw materials, not finished goods, raw materials particularly. So I think that's why I've always talked about the BRICS thing, that it's not something Nigeria should be eager to line up behind at the moment. It's early days yet. You can see people like India, China cutting their own side deals. And Putin, I think, is in China at the moment and stuff like that. So a lot of things going on in the BRICS. So I'm happy that we've not joined that bad bandwagon like I've always advocated for. So that is very good. I think this coming from India, I'm very happy. I know the Indians are very aggressive and they are very, very serious. It would have even been better if, like in Jonathan's time, they are the highest importer or buyers of our crude oil. And NNPC somehow messed them up. And they are not there to play. So they have to quit and look elsewhere. And since then, they never turn back again. So it would have been better if they've been being a customer of NNPC. But unfortunately, we lost their customs and things like that. So I just hope this government will follow up seriously and then know exactly what to do to actualize this arrangement. And then for the Dangote refinery, I think we are talking as if that refinery belongs to us, Nigeria. No, it doesn't belong to us, even though we have a 20% stake in it. Still, it is a private business, and it's not yet on the Nigerian bourse, that is the stock exchange. So it's still very, very private business. And Dangote being a businessman. That refinery is so modern that it can use several types of crude oil, several blend of crude oil it can use. So it doesn't rely much on the sweet crude like we have in the Bonnet Light. The advantage the Nigerian oil has, that is the sweet crude, is that it is cheaper to refine and easier to refine than any other heavy crude and stuff like that. So, but he has his buying house in London, his agency. So he's well prepared for this. So he's because there is no way we can meet the quota of a 650,000 barrels per day capacity refinery. There is just no way, because the highest we
that will also run in conflict with our OPEC quota, wouldn't it?
Yes, because the highest I think we've gone was Jonathan's time. I think that was about 2.2 or 2.3. And ever since, we've not been able to do it again. I think during Buhari's era, it was, I think, about 1.8. But as we speak today, it's just 1.3, even though our OPEC quota is 1.8. And we have several refineries of our own, which is owned by Nigeria, Warri, Port Harcourt, and the Cardoso refineries. We have to also feed those refineries when they come on stream. Besides those modular refineries springing up here and there, I think we have about 9 now, and Nigeria has a lot of work to do. We have to think properly, and because that is one of the easiest source we have of making money so far. And those modular refineries are also private. We lure them into investing in it, and we have to supply them crude too. But fortunately, most of them are very close to raw materials. They are not too far from raw materials available. And I think those that are within oil wells that has been abandoned, I mean, they should encourage them to explore possibility, because no well is totally dry. No well is totally dry. At least they can always get something out of those abandoned wells for the time being, because we have to feed them. Though most of them are not going to refine petrol immediately, they are mainly diesel and polymer and stuff like that. But those are good for exports, and they are foreign exchange earners for us. So we are onto a good thing, but we have to really put our thinking cap on and use the right people to pursue a very fine policy that will help our dire situation which we are in at the moment. But as for Dangote, I think that's why the refinery is on a free trade zone area. So he's free to come in and go. What we just require of him is the appropriate taxes for him to pay and stuff like that. When we have oil available, he can buy from us. Good thing. Cheaper too, because I think the policy now is to sell to them in Naira. But I don't think that policy will go too far, because you can't sell to him in Naira and then he will in turn shortchange us and sell his refined products in dollars outside, because I don't think we have control over what it takes out. So we have to be very, very careful selling things to him in Naira. So this is my take on that. And then what's the next topic again? I can't remember.
We were talking about the state assemblies endorsing state policing.
Well, in the beginning, a couple of times we've talked about, discussed it on the panel. I've always been in support, but now that it looks like reality, I'm a little bit afraid. But those we can, because of fear of misuse or misapplication. and say we will not try it, because something you have not tried, you cannot say 100% how it's going to pan out. So I'm all for it, but in also doing it, the federal government, I think, should also relinquish the power for states to have their own prisons, because you cannot have your state police feeding the federal prisons with overload of prisoners and detainees and things like that. So let the state also, in formatting their state police, also have their own state correctional facilities to take their detainees and prisoners, so that the federal government will become a little bit light in that aspect, and have enough money also to use for other things, particularly health and education. So it's okay. We can try it, even though my fear doesn't really count in this. And let's see how it's going to pan out. No problem there. So the earlier, the better. So one man.
All right. Let me give you one more. The students' loan thing, it comes on stream in a week. The 24th of May is the date that has been announced.
Yeah. Happy days. And you know, Emirates is coming for their first flight is 1st October. That's Emirates Airline.
I saw that in the news cycle as well.
Yeah, so that's very good. For the state listing, I think why I advocate for 3% interest rate. Knowing the government is in charge, quite all right. They have a board headed by Gemovia and several others. There will be staff to be paid and everything. So that 3% will cover administrative costs like paying the staff and facilities for the staff. Maybe when they go out of station.
What about hemorrhaging? How do you insulate for hemorrhaging? Because they will hemorrhage a lot of money from a lot of them won't be able to pay back. So how do you insulate for that if you don't charge?
Well, it's a Nigerian malice actually when government does things and we think it's free. And I think in this case, our National Orientation Agency, I don't know what they are doing, because we still need education and re-education as to our civic responsibility when it comes to issues like this. Because if maybe the first batch, second, third milked it dry, what about all those people that are coming behind? You are going to deprive them of what you enjoyed. Just like those who are ahead of me enjoyed a lot of facility during their time, and which we didn't enjoy. What we enjoy, we didn't pass on to the following generations and things like that. For this student loan thing, we need National Orientation Agency to come in and do a lot of spotlight, to orientate our people, to educate them, parents, church. They should use churches and things like that to appeal to the conscience of the recipients that it is necessary. Don't try to short circuit the system. It is necessary you pay back so that the generations to come will continue to enjoy it. This is why I advocated for that 3% interest, just to cover the costs, so that the cost of buying vehicles, out of station allowance for staff members and things like that will not eat up into the principal sum upon which they are riding. So that should be a separate thing entirely. And because we have this, it's free money. It's not free money. They help you to get education that would have been difficult for you and your parents to actually have, because they're even paying you stipend for other fees and things like that. I mean, in most countries where things have even free, they don't have that. So it's a complete package, and we should be able to appreciate it, because it's when you are responsible to a lot of indigent students, you will know how difficult these things are, how they sweat, how they become very fretty when school resumes and they cannot meet up the funds, because some of the universities are merciless. They just don't give a damn for anybody. If you cannot pay, then you are not graduating and stuff like that. So it's a very good thing, but the recipients have to be told, they have to be responsible, because when they talked about them indemnifying the government by bringing in pastors or their village chiefs and things like to guarantee them, they kicked against it. They say it's too. Nigeria generally kicked against it. Oh, this thing is too stiff. They cannot meet this. They cannot meet that. Okay, they've made it very open now, and they are not saying. I think they will be smiling to hit the portal on the 24th, but they should know that they have to pay back. They have to pay back. We have to be responsible. We have to be responsible. It is not free. So this is my own appeal. And the National Orientation Agency, I think, has to come up with some ideas on which they can do some advertorials to educate our people, particularly parents whose children are enjoying, or guardians whose ward are enjoying this facility, that they make sure they pay back. If they cannot pay, maybe a kind of certificate that your employer have to sign when you get a job or something. There should be a link to when you graduate and get a job, so that the system can actually know that you have a job now, and the corporate bodies to have to cooperate and make sure that when they employ you, they want a certificate of clearance from the student loan bank to say, okay, you finish paying or you are still owing, so that those corporate bodies will help the government for recoveries and things like that. So there must be mechanism to ensure recovery, at least 90%, if not 100%. 90% will be a fair deal. Yes, woman.
All right, brilliant. Do you want to take one more, or do you want us to wrap it up here?
Okay, let's go.
All right, let me just give you one more, and then after that we will have to wrap it up. Do you want to? Which one have you done? Oh yes. Do you want to speak on this one? 2027 polls, Ohaneze cautions Obi against relying on Northern merger. So it's only really because of the historical backdrop of that sort of relationship.
You see, yes, they are right to caution him. I think they are pointing him in a different direction by saying this, because it looks like the statement is pregnant with other meanings. Because the North generally are very calculating, very astute when it comes to politics. They know how to play it. It is their field. It is something they feed upon and take advantage of. Because our political history is replete with, do I use the word betrayal from that side, or disagreement? Let me just put it lightly. Betrayal is a bit heavy, you understand. But if we have to think of recent happenings, I think the Wike thing and Amici is a very good example, because the Wike, I mean, he had the money, he was matching Atiku dollar for dollar, and he has Tambuwal in his corner 100%, because Tambuwal was to be his vice president, and up to the point the convention started, I mean, Wike was assured that he's going to beat him, because Wike really worked for it. He has set up that the chairmanship to the North way in advance. He had to betray Secondus to put the other man, Ayu, in front, so that it will be established, settled in law, that power has to shift to the South. Even with that double assurance, he went there assured that, okay, I got his name, but here they come. the Atiku factor. He wants to be president. And they did not give it to him. What did Tambuwal do on that day? Despite all the, I can prove it, but I know Wiki must have lined his pockets to line the pockets of other northern politicians. But on that ground that day, the ground shifted, and Wiki reeled back in pain. And even to the extent that he wanted the vice presidency so that he will not it will be a total loss for him. They didn't even give it to him. And Amechi also, I mean, I was sure Amechi was Buhari's candidate because Kasina gave him a big chieftaincy title. Because of that, I mean, he went further to establish Transport University in Katsina, the rail to Madara, or what they call it in Nigeria Republic and everything. So I was saying, well, he has played his card right. And I thought Amici will even get it. But to my surprise, Amici failed. Amici failed. So if Obi is now going well, there is always a first time. So maybe he should work hard, because this thing, I will tell you for a fact that it's easier to become an America's president than to be a Nigeria's president. It's very easy. Very easy to be an American president, because Nigeria's politics is very, very difficult. The terrain is very, very rough, and you have to work hard at it. They don't give you on a platter. So he's doing the hard work now, but he shouldn't think or rest on his words to say, okay, 4 years job is enough to pander to the north and everything, and he will get it. For example, when we talk about the Onosonye's report, I had it. I know what I had from the presidency in Nigeria, that the Pilgrims Board will be scrapped, which means that government will not have hand in sponsoring pilgrimages. But yesterday, Shetima stood and talked about 98 or 90 billion or 98 billion being used to subsidize pilgrimage. Who are these pilgrims? The bulk of them are in the north, and it is politics. Rather than use his own money, Tinubu using his own money to do that is using government money against what we were told. That is politics. That is pandering to the north. That is preparation, part of the preparation for the next election. So this is a problem. The north is an important part, an important and integral part of our political space. Without carrying the north, it's very difficult. Jonathan did it though. I think he won the whole south and won just 1 or 2 in the north. But that was a special situation then. The kind of support Jonathan had then, I think that was the election of 2012. Was it 2012 or 2011? I can't remember now. So Obi to come now, I think he should continue on the trajectory is on at the moment, and let's see. But I don't envy him. I don't envy his position, because those people are not easy. You can't even read them. You cannot read them politically correctly. So it's not going to be an easy job, particularly when it's challenging an incumbent like Tinubu, who is not even using government money to sponsor pilgrimage. And they don't joke with that, because they will use it as campaign silently in the north to say, look, in the last 4 years, 3 years, this man has been subsidizing your pilgrimage. You've always gone to Mecca to pray for him and things like that. And when it comes to religion, it softens them up, particularly when it comes to this Mecca thing. So it's not going to be an easy job for him at all. But age is, I think, still age is on his side. He just turned 64 or so. So in under 7 years, he will be 71. So let's see how it pans out. Maybe he'll be VP then. I don't know. So woman.
All right, brilliant. Baba, let's wrap it up here.
Okay, woman.
I think most of our people have gone to bed, so maybe we should go to
Yeah,
bed as well.
The topic too is not there. It's not exciting to them. So let them rest.
We get this like that sometimes. The super chatters, of course, are yours. And that's Ayo right there, and Abdul. So thank you to both of them. I feel somewhat like we cheated them. We don't give them the full 7 hours that they anticipated, but there it is. We'll keep it short and sweet. Thank everyone. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Adele Koko. Thank you, Baba.